In life, we come across all kinds of personalities in our personal and our professional lives. And there's always those people that just make your gut feel like they just make you feel uncomfortable, or they do things that don't quite sit well. Some examples of this type of behavior is that, when you ask them a question, they give you weird turnaround answer, they give you the runaround, or they're not completely transparent. You feel like they're hiding something. They're not really good with following through on their word, and when people keep doing things, you start to feel like, wait a minute, is this someone I want to interact with? Now, some people just really, they have personal issues and they don't know how to manage their lives, and there's a variety of reasons why, and I don't want to judge people. That's not the purpose of this video. Then there are people who are just full-blown narcissists, and they're incredibly charming, and they know how to become popular. But when you dig deep inside, you're like, wait a minute, but this person's kind of a cheater, right? And we all know those kinds of people, and so that's why just having certain rules in your life will protect you from being a victim to those behaviors. Now, whether someone's a full-blown narcissist or they just have their own personal issues, the goal here is to protect yourself. So it's not about, analyzing someone or becoming someone's therapist or trying to fix them. Really, the goal is, okay, is this someone who I want to do business with? I don't really care why. I'm just going to go off of how they treat me or how they interact with me, and then I'll move on. And this is why I follow the 3 strikes rule. And this can apply to both your personal and your professional life. But in this context, I'm going to talk about your professional life. Now, as an attorney, I see these interactions a lot, and you'd be surprised that a lot of very intelligent, savvy people fall victim to these types of behaviors. It's not about intelligence or anything. It's just really about having your own boundaries. That's really what it comes down to. So, there are people who are incredibly intelligent. They're very savvy. They're very good business people, but they don't know how to set boundaries. And that's ultimately what this comes down to. So this 3 strikes rule is just really just not giving people more than 3 chances. Again, it doesn't really matter. We're not here to psychoanalyze people. Are they trying to cheat me, or they just don't have their act together? That's not the point. The point is it's about you and whether you want to deal with X scenario or X situation. So let's just say you want to get together with a potential business partner and you want to have coffee with them to go over your future potential relationship, and they just completely ghost you. No call, no nothing. They just disappear. And you follow up with them, you don't hear back from them. And then finally, maybe after a few days, you hear back from them and they say, okay, I'm so sorry, I had whatever this situation, my car broke down, my mom got sick, whatever it is, that I would consider that a strike. It might be a completely legitimate issue. Again, we're not here to psychoanalyze people. Say, okay, no problem, we can reschedule, whatever. And then things might go on for a few months, and then you have this other scenario where, they start to share their financials. See, again, if you want to do business with them, if you want to buy their business, whatever it is, and the numbers don't look right, and they don't really ever give a clear answer. And again, some people are very charming, so you don't really pick up on it. You just they're very good at showing that they have authority. Right? Business people do this all the time. This is a common explanation. We put money here in this bank account. This is just what savvy business people do. And you're like, oh, okay, this is what savvy business people do. But there's a piece of you that's saying, no, this is not what savvy business people do. Put money in an unreported bank account, something like that. So that's strike 2. And honestly, it's okay if that's strike 3, because if they can't give a good explanation or, do some research, don't just take their word, then just walk away. Again, is it because they're incompetent, or is it because they're full-blown cheater, narcissist, whatever it is? Again, it really doesn't matter. For your purposes, whether you want to do business with them, that's what this is about. It's about your boundaries and you being comfortable. Now, as an attorney, I see this a lot. And again, a lot of people who are very savvy don't realize what they're getting into. And that's typical. That's okay. And as an attorney, though, it's people want to sue over these matters, or they want my advice, and they say, well, can you put certain terms in a contract to avoid these scenarios? And I tell them, no, you can't contract your way out of a bad, business relationship. If someone's going to, not honor their word, then they're just not going to honor their word. So what's the point of having a contract? You can't have an ironclad contract if someone's just going to go and breach it, and you're stuck trying to enforce that contract, and you're the one who's paying the attorney's fees, or you're in litigation and you think that you can somehow win your rights, and then they've hid all their money in another and that unreported bank account in a different country. And now you have to figure out how to get your hands on it, even if you win a court case. So that's what it is. Before you enter into a business relationship, listen to really listen to what someone's saying, get second opinions. If something just doesn't sit right with you, that's okay. You have to put up your boundaries, and 3 strikes is a good rule. It's amazing how we justify things in our head, and we say, well, maybe this, so-and-so is like, they know what they're doing, or they're having a bad day. People will do this for years, and they'll give way more than 3 chances. So we have to draw a line somewhere, at 3 strikes. More than that, I've given you enough chances. This is really shady. Don't want to do this. That's okay. And that's a good line to draw things at. Or you have a lawyer with you when you are negotiating and give you some guidance, like, no, this is not typical. This is not standard. This is not what business people do. Or, so having a lawyer help you on that end is really invaluable. And the short-term cost of that is going to be far less than long-term litigation or, having a business pulled out from under you. If you've ever been in this situation, I'd love to hear about it. If you're willing to share, you can put it in your comments below. Like I said, this is very common. I see this all the time. And this is probably just one of the best advice that I can give to all people out there doing business.